Are you hearing that toolbox, that form of engagement, properly addressed in the campaign so far?
I'm not sure that the campaigns are really allowing for some deep discussion on these issues. It's more slogans and not really a sense of how complicated the issues are and how much the U.S. has to do.
If you were going to hear that deep discussion coming from the candidates, what would you want to be hearing?
Well, I would want to hear, for instance, let's take energy. That, for instance, the fact that our oil prices are so high has something to do with the world's supply of oil, but also that there are other countries, what their growth rates are, what is it that's happening in China and India that affects our energy prices. I mean, some people at least understand that they need to focus on what's going on in the Middle East, but it isn't just the Middle East. It's a search for resources by other countries that are becoming more and more industrialized. So understanding how issues go together. The other part, for instance, food prices have gone up. And I think people know when they go to the supermarket that their food prices are higher, or they might read about the fact that some people somewhere else are starving. But they have not totally put the connection between climate change, access to water, energy, and food prices.
Are the non-military tools of foreign policy being properly engaged in this campaign so far?
Well, the discussion of them has to some extent, because there have been those, both Senator Obama and Senator Clinton have said that it's important to talk to countries that you don't like. And I think that there is a sense that the next administration, if it's a Democratic one, would in fact spend a lot more time engaging, talking. And I think that what's been made clear is that if you talk to somebody, it doesn't just mean that you make nice. That is how you deliver some strong messages. And so I think there is a sense of a greater use of the national security toolbox by the next administration, frankly, whoever is the next administration, than has been used for most of this one.
You work side by side with former Defense Secretary Frank Carlucci, who was in the Reagan administration, you being in the Clinton administration, the Center for U.S. Global Engagement in their pursuit of this Impact 08 for the campaign. What are you trying to do?
I think it's a terrific initiative, and I'm very glad to do it with Frank Carlucci, because while we represent different parties and different positions in the government, we are united in understanding the impact, in fact, that assistance abroad, development assistance, can make on our national security. And we are looking at ways, and you've pointed out the difficulty of it, of making the American public and the campaigns understand what a difference it would make in the world if, in fact, assistance programs were well planned, were larger, were a priority in terms of trying to alleviate inequality throughout the world, dealing with issues that provide food, education, and security in a lot of countries. When you put $1 into assistance, it comes back in the form of $3, or understanding the impact that helping to provide education or clean water somewhere makes on a particular society, or what difference it makes if disease it can be eradicated in a different place. So giving very specific examples, but it's difficult.